up, you guys? It's Natalie here with NatStack. Today I want to go over the differences between cryptocurrencies and the stock market, mainly the amount of return that you can get, actual return on your investment within a year, basically. We're not going to look at anything super long. We can look at stock market statistics. On average, you earn 10% per year. In cryptocurrencies, as I've said before, you can earn that in a day or even an hour in some cases. So basically, I'm going to show you the case study of the two different asset types and how much you could possibly earn over time just by buying and holding. Nothing complicated. And yeah, let's get into it. Right, so what I wanted to go over was the actual returns I've been talking all about. This really kind of hit me when I was just basically thinking about it, but then when I also created this. I always knew this and definitely heard about it, but it's another thing to actually just make a simple calculation. And I don't want to do the whole thing where it's like buy low, sell high, but it honestly is where you could be at. Now these are basically the current lows and highs, as of recent, basically within a recent year. And, you could have bought or sold anywhere in there. It's basically you could have done dollar cost averaging and been buying lots of times up here and also selling, you bought here, sold a little bit here, sold a little bit here, there. You can do anything like that. But in some cases, there's the general term in cryptocurrency, HODL, hold on for dear life. So let's say you were to actually buy during the bear market when it was definitely Bitcoin's at its lows. And just held on, be like, okay, let's see where this goes. So basically, let's say you bought one Bitcoin for $5,000 in March 2020. So basically around here. And that's essentially, I guess the wick went all the way down to 3,000, but essentially closed around 5,000. So let's just say you didn't time the exact low, but kind of near the low. You can come and zoom in here. So yeah, basically within this candle, right? You can basically see it's touching near these other lows right here, and then it could bounce off of it, which is exactly what it did. It never went back down to that level again. So you bought one Bitcoin, $5,000 March 2020. So basically, let's just say you held on to the whole time, right? So you bought here, you sold some here, whatever. So basically, let's just say at this current point, let's not show that it's fallen to 50,000 just yet. It's just a slight pullback here. But, okay, let's just say in current time, your one Bitcoin is now worth $57,000. So essentially, 57,000 minus 5,000, you made an overall profit of $52,000 right here, which is actually a return of 1,040% in less than 1 year. This is the most important thing to point out. That if you actually wouldn't necessarily say time, because at the time when you buy something, it might not feel like the right time. But if you're buying at those lower points, that's what makes you a lot of money. It's not even the fact that you have a lot of money to invest, because honestly, less money here could be a much greater return than more money here. Let's say you put $10,000 in right here at 30 grand. It's definitely not going to give you the same returns as this right here. So this is just a simple ROI calculation, but again, 1,040. Made $52,000 profit. I feel like everyone would love to do that, right? It's not like you even had to go work really hard to get this money. It was just simply buying and holding for, again, less than a year. And then, so as the stock market makes an average return of 10% per year, this would take the stock market 104 years to do this. And usually in the stock market, when people are putting money into their retirement accounts or investment funds or anything like that, that's a buy and hold situation. So this is the exact same situation, except you really made a difference in your investment portfolio by buying Bitcoin instead of putting that $5,000 into the stock market. Now you could have both. That's technically diversifying. And in this case, it would really help you out a lot to have bought Bitcoin at these lower times. Essentially, when this is around the same time though that the stock market did crash as well. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, just let me know. But moving on, I just really want to show you that like it's $5,000. Even if you put less than this, let's say $2,500 or something, you could have closer to like $30,000, which is still incredible. You still get 1,000% return. It doesn't happen. So you made 10 in 1 year. 10% of 5,000 get you $500. Do you want to make $500 on this, or do you want to make $52,000? Okay. Now, Ethereum. A similar move to Bitcoin, although not quite as upward yet. Previous highs around 20,000. Now I would say nearly tripled here to 60,000. Ethereum just kind of slightly above its previous all-time high of around 1,400, making its way up to 1,900. So let's just show you where you would be if you could say in addition to Bitcoin you bought Ethereum, or instead of Bitcoin you bought Ethereum. Either way. So let's say you put that same $5,000 in Ethereum at 130. So also at these March lows, Ethereum was around 130. So how much Ethereum did that get you? That got you about 38 ETH. So, and then let's say again you held up to that same point, that same candle that Bitcoin was at as well, which was around 1,900. So your $5,000 turned into $73,000. That gets you $68,000 in profit. At Bitcoin, you get $52,000 profit. What is that? About $16,000 more if you bought Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. So, I mean, that already kind of shows you something else I mentioned, that if something is already a lesser price when you invest in it, then your money will go farther. So your investment, see, it was worth before with your investment included $57,000, which is what Bitcoin had to essentially get up to, or your investment could be worth $73,000. Because again, you had 38 Ethereum times the actual price point, which is a lot more powerful than 1 times the price point. Yeah, so that return is about 1,300, getting up to 1,400% return in less than 1 year. And then Bitcoin was 1,040. So about a 300% difference in return. With Ethereum, it would take the stock market 136 years to provide this kind of return, compared to the stock market's 10% average yearly returns. And finally, been talking about the stock market so much in comparison. So now we're just gonna show you the SPY, the S&P 500 index, which is just a good general indicator of how the stock market is doing. So we have, basically you bought 5,000 shares of the S&P 500, which gave you around 22 shares, which, at the time you could have bought more Ethereum than you could shares of the SPY. So 22 shares at 230 in March 2020. So around here was about 230. And then, so by February 2021, your 22 shares would be worth $8,514. So basically, out of your $5,000 investment, you only gained about $3,500, which is an ROI of 70%. And it would typically take you 7 years to get this kind of return with the stock market, but buying the dip can result in greater returns with dollar cost averaging. So if you're kind of in general, just over the years, just buying and holding, it goes down. Buying, holding, it goes down. You know what I mean? It's like here it hasn't really made many higher highs at this point. But if you do take advantage of the stock market falling and try to buy back in, again, you can buy at the highs, buy at the lows. That really is what dollar cost averaging is over time. You could do a weekly basis, monthly basis. That's what's going to get you the money, is really trying to take opportunity of these dips here. It's definitely scary because the psychology is everyone wants to sell. That really could be a great time to buy. Whereas if you just kind of were buying once it's back up here, you missed out on like over half of the move back up. But besides that, just talking about the stock market, I mean, as you can see here, this is a great scenario, honestly. This is a good case scenario for a stock market because this is 7 years instead of 1 year. I'm sorry, it would take you 7 years typically, but you did it in less than 1 year here. But here, this would basically not even be possible in someone's lifetime to make 1,300% just by buying and holding shares in the stock market. And same thing with this one, 100 years, 136 years. So basically, this is just a very small case study. There's so many other, for example, like certain stocks that probably give you a good return. I mean, most cryptocurrencies will give you a pretty great return. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to illustrate the differences and really show you that this new emerging market is really where the money is. You can make a lot of money in this market, whereas the stock market, you can make money over time in the decades. But in the cryptocurrency market, you can make decent money, within a couple of years. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to cover next. Bye.